And hello, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm Jan Diatri, and welcome to Sit, Stay, Brunch, Paws for Hope for Lost Our Home Pet Rescue. Now, this is going to be a very important hour, a very fun hour. You know, this is a season for giving and getting, so you're going to be able to give in a big way to a very important cause, and you're also going to get some amazing prizes and raffles and things like that. I wanted to thank our presenting sponsors right off the top, the Jackson Family Foundation and the Fred and Jamie Pryor Foundation. They have made this possible. So Lost Our Home is an amazing Arizona success story. It's actually an amazing national success story. It started in 2008 by a wonderful, we call her our angel here in Arizona, Jody Polanski. She saw the need when people were losing their homes and they had to give up their pets, and she didn't want to see that happen. So she created Lost Our Home so that she could provide at least a temporary place for pets while people get back on their feet. Well, fast forward to 2020, you would not believe, and you're going to hear about all of the great programs from food banks to pet adoptions to great partnerships with the Sojourner Foundation and organization and so many more. So we hope you have a great time. You're going to learn some great stories. Wait till you hear about the prizes. And in order to tell you about those, I have to introduce, we call her in Arizona the best auctiontainer anywhere, and I think people that work with her know that Letitia Fry is the best auctiontainer on the planet. So let me introduce my co-MC right now, Letitia Fry.
Jan, thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. This is a pajama party. You got it. There's going to be way too many puns involved in this one. So we hope you have that meow mosa in your hand. Yeah, jokes are going to keep coming. It's live TV. Jan and I are here with you, safe social distance. We followed all the CDC guidelines. Our whole crew is here masked up, but most importantly, you're safe at home. Whether you're still in bed or you're in cute pajamas like we are, and you're actually at a watch party, you're having some of that market catering by Jennifer's. It's incredible. Or you've got some of those meow mosas wherever you are. Thank you for joining us this year. While we can't gather in person, that is not stopping us from doing our Lost Our Home 2020 brunch with you virtually. So let's start there. Number one, if you're just joining the show or you're at a watch party and your actual host has got this airdropped in a TV, or you're like me and you have teens and they do that for you, that's great. But make sure that each of your guests or any of you are registered. Go to LOH2020 brunch. Remember that. LOH2020brunch.givesmart.com. Again, LOH2020brunch.givesmart.com. We don't want you missing out on anything. Now, here today on this show, there's a couple of things that are ending at the end of this hour on this beautiful Sunday morning. One of them is the fact that just for registering, and even if you register for free right now, you are eligible to win a beautiful gourmet basket with more things than you could ever imagine for your cat or your dog. Jan's going to give that away soon, and then we're going to contact you, and you can choose either kitty or puppy and win just for going to LOH2020brunch.givesmart.com. What else? Once you're registered there, make sure you click on raffle items, because when you have your raffle items, they're 1 for $25, 5 for $100. And here's what you get to win. Now, Jennifer Kunis, I know you're out there watching this, and we look so forward to those cookies every single year. They're these Oreo paw print, chocolate covered, either dark chocolate, milk chocolate. We're actually raffling off a box of 50. Now, hey, when I first started doing this event like 8 years ago, we actually started auctioning those off. I think I sold one box for like $800. So believe me, you want to go on and buy that 1 for $25 or 5 for $100, support our Lost Our Home pets, and most importantly, get a chance of those cookies. What else? Well, it's that time of year where you'll be watching sports and possibly holiday movies together. Well, how about a 32-inch smart TV? That's right. At the end of the show, Jan's announcing that. 3 ways you can actually participate in that. But what else is going on? You know, you remember those days when we were all together and I'd sound like this? 1,000, you put it to 15, now 2, now 25, now 3, now 35. I missed that. But right now what we're going to do is talk through those live auction items in a bit. There's also silent auction items. Hey, it's the holidays. Why not just hang out here with us and do your holiday shopping here? That's right. Let your fingers do the walking. Clickety-clack. Come on back. This is a chance for you to go all the way through this Tuesday. Can you believe it's going to be December 8th? 1 week of December already out and only a couple more weeks to shop for the holidays. Do it here with us. Make sure that you're on LOH2020brunch.givesmart.com. We're going to give you all the way to this Tuesday, the 8th of December at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. This time of year, Arizona does not change our clock, so it's known as Mountain Time. Now, in addition to that, we're going to have our 100% tax-deductible gift that we do for our Ask, our Fund a Need. And wow, are you going to learn about many of the pivots that have taken place during this time, especially with COVID, where we're servicing more animals but with less. So, as you know actually what to do here, I want to remind you, if you're at that watch party, you've got that catering, you got those cocktails, or maybe, see, the mornings are rough. I got my pajamas in on this one. You might still be in bed. Good for you. Make sure that you're actually on that LOH2020brunch.givesmart.com so you can actually participate in all of this. Here's the best thing too. Our crew that's here with us today actually recording this. It'll be recorded after it's live with Jan and I, and you can share this link out with friends and family. You don't have to be in Arizona, not even now. That's the beauty of this stream, learning more about Lost Our Home, and you're going to meet many of the pets that are running through here right now with us and know that you have a chance actually to adopt them. So now that you know exactly what's going on and how to do it, let's learn a little bit more about a couple of very lucky kittens and some amazing first responders who turned to Lost Our Home.
Mid-June, Tempe Police Department rushed to Lost Our Home. They had two 4-week-old kittens. They had been found in a swimming pool, drowning, fighting for their lives. Good Samaritans saw them, immediately pulled them from the pool, and then called 911. Unfortunately, by the time Tempe Police Department got there, 2 of the kittens had already drowned, and they were only able to save 2 little girls, who we lovingly named Dara and Margarita. It was unclear how long the kittens had been in the water. What was clear was that they would need a very experienced team to help bring these kittens back to life, get them happy and healthy, and get them to their forever home.
The shelter director gave me a call and said that these 2 babies had been fished out of a swimming pool and that their 2 siblings hadn't survived. And so would I be willing to take them on and make sure that they were okay? And so of course I said yes. And when I got down to the shelter to get them, we found out that we didn't know how long they had been in the pool and how much water they could have intaked. So we went right to the emergency vet and had them checked out.
She took her to an emergency room and she was diagnosed as being hypoglycemic, which in kittens and in many pets can cause them to stop eating and drinking, and eventually they will die from it. She also had a mild case of pneumonia and she needed medication to help clear that up and to get her back on track with her health.
And they were still alert and everything, but they were severely under temperature, and so they had to stay there for a few hours until they were stabilized. And then they came home to me, where they spent some more time on a heating pad. They were not happy little kittens when they arrived. They were very traumatized, and I got lots of hisses.
This, for the most part, was the last major hurdle for Dara and Margarita. For all kittens of that size, when they're only 4 weeks old, it's really hard to be away from mom. And Nicole, as wonderful of a foster parent as she is, it is still difficult and it's still a challenge.
It took a little while to get them used to human contact, and they both loved food. So when they realized that I was the food person, they became a lot quicker to tolerate me.
And after 53 days of love and care, Margarita and Dara were ready to go up for adoption.
You know, their situation was so unique. Their tragic start, losing 2 of their siblings, and heaven knows what happens to mom. But also because of the pandemic and I was home all day, they're really my fosters that I spent 24 hours a day with. I really bonded with them because I was there all day, every day. And so they will really, and they ended up being my last fosters for Lost Our Home before I moved out of the country. And so I will always remember them. No, I'm gonna tear up now. Yes, so yeah, they will always hold a special place in my heart. They were super sweet, and it's always so important when they turn that corner from when they realize that people are really there to help them. And seeing that difference is really what makes fostering worthwhile.
Incredible. Now, first of all, Nicole, if you're out there, just so you know, that's one of our many successful foster moms for our animals. It's because of you that those girls can actually have forever homes. But she actually moved to South Korea. And that's the beauty of this. You never know, could be watching in South Korea right now, because that's what the virtual space is. So these are just some of the examples of how your money here today, and you're going to learn more about how important this brunch is to the overall operating budget of Lost Our Home, even pre-COVID, but during COVID, wow, you're going to learn a lot. And then speaking of that, many of you might be actually tuning in for the first time. Now, you heard Jan start this out talking about our earth angel known as Jody Polanski. I feel the same way, and pretty much anyone and everyone that's ever known her. Jan and I also know successfully what those animals that come through Lost Our Home mean, because we have actually successfully adopted homes as well, or been the home that they came to. So now, if you don't know the story, I want to tell you a little bit more. So being that we are trying to maintain safe social distancing and a good environment, I decided to actually go down to the shelter earlier in the week, which again, I have my dog from as well, because I was what's known as a foster fail during this pandemic. We're actually going to go and listen to an interview I did earlier in this week with our incredible executive director, the founder, and the woman behind the movement that we now call Lost Our Home. Hey everybody, it's Letitia Fry, and I am here with our CEO and founder and my dear friend, Jody Polanski. We are safe social distance and here at Lost Our Home Pet Rescue, and you can hear some animals behind us, so that's where we are. But most importantly, those of you that are viewing this, whether for the first time or you've known us for a long time, it's here to really tell you the story of Lost Our Home. So first of all, Jody, congratulations on so many years of actually being here, but that kind of brings me back. I know this story, but there are people, particularly in this virtual world, that are seeing you for the first time. Can you tell us about what happened in 2008 during our housing market crash that really preempted not only the name, but the movement that is Lost Our Home?
Absolutely. So in 2008, that's back when the foreclosure crisis hit. It seems so long ago now. It was 12 years ago. But I was doing mortgages back then, and I kept talking to realtors that were finding pets abandoned in foreclosed homes. Okay. And I thought, well, who's helping these pets that have been abandoned? So the initial rescue was open for the purpose of helping pets that had been abandoned. But after I opened the rescue, I realized that people are in crisis too. And so not only need to help the pets, but help the people who are in crisis. So all the programs we have that we still do today are to help both pets and people in crisis.
And that's something that I love about you. And for those of you that are at home, there is a temporary care program, and I want to talk to you about that, particularly in this day and age. Explain how, many people think that they only have the choice to give up their pet when faced with a medical crisis or a personal financial crisis. You do something different. You offer them a temporary window to possibly fix that. Tell us about that.
We do. Our temporary care program is one of the unique ones in the whole country. And what we do is we care for people's pets for usually up to 90 days. It's been longer lately with COVID. But the idea is that we can care for their pets. So if they are in a domestic violence shelter, or if they're in a homeless shelter, if they are, couch surfing, or a hospital, any place where they can't care for their pet temporarily because of some sort of crisis they're in, we will care for their pet for them till they get out of the crisis. That way they take the pet back and be reunited, and they don't give their pet up so that they can get the help that they need to move forward with their life too.
Which again, it's about pets and people. And I have personally been watching some of the animals over the years and said, well, if they don't come back. But you know what? I think almost every time they do. And that's so unique to you and to Lost Our Home. Let's talk a little bit more about that as well. There is also a food program here, because let's talk about the elderly, the cat program. A lot of times people will give up their pet because they don't know how to feed their pet. So tell us about that program.
Yeah, when I was back in 2008, when I was answering the phones and I would hear people call me up and they're saying, I lost my job, I don't have income right now, I don't want to lose my pet, but I can't afford to feed my pet, I just need some food. Can you just give me some food and I keep my pet? And I'm like, absolutely, that's an easy thing to do. So the pet food bank was formed from the phone calls we were getting. So now we are able to give people food, litter, pet supplies, the things that they need to keep their pet. We found that over the years, especially the elderly that are isolated, they may forgo getting medication or food for themselves because their pet is their only companion. And it's just such a shame that they feel the need to have to put aside their health to keep their companion, and it's not necessary. So our food bank will help them be able to provide nutrition for both.
And to give people at home an idea too of, well, Jody, she said that this has started all the way back to 2008, which does seem like eons ago, and it seemed like a big deal till now. But also, I just want to point out, in 2019 alone, 1,100 successful pets placed into homes, correct?
Adopted, yes. 1,100 pets were adopted into new homes in 2019, and 185 pets were reunited with their pet parent after going through a crisis.
That's amazing. And that's really what sets Lost for Home Pet Rescue so apart. It's about the people and the pets.
I told you Jody was our angel, right? Now, Letitia mentioned that she was a foster fail, and because she ended up adopting her puppy. Well, I am a foster fail as well, only I have 26 animals. Yeah. Maybe soon to be 27. Will you look at this little kitty? This is Simon, and I'm so glad that it's our pajama party and that I'm wearing my comfy, cozy robe, because he is nestled and he's purring and he's looking for a forever home. So just keep Simon in mind if you can wrestle him from my arms. All right, Letitia also mentioned that we're going to be giving away some great some baskets, and our first one is up next. So when you registered for the brunch, you were automatically entered to win these amazing prizes. And so this first one, this basket, is going to be the perfect gift for your dog or cat for the holidays. And when we call you, it's your choice if you want a cat basket or a dog basket, and they're filled with all kinds of gourmet items. And our first winner today, Julie Borgsmiller Nussbaum. Julie, that's not an easy name to say, but congratulations. We're so glad. You're going to love this basket. Your puppy or your kitty are going to love it as well. We've got many more prizes and baskets where that came from, so you stay right there. There's a lot of people in the community that have helped make Lost Our Home so successful. One of those you hear on the radio, John Holmberg. Yes, I'm still thinking of Julie's name here. John Holmberg, he's with 98 KUPD, and he started something called Pick of the Litter. And because of John, we've been able to adopt so many animals. And so for that, he gets Lost Our Home's Community Impact Award. Take a look at this.
Hey guys, thank you so much for this. This is really nice, and I don't like awards at all because it means that people are pretending I do something, and I certainly don't, especially with Lost Our Home Pet Rescue. They do all the hard work, they do everything. I'm just the guy with a big mouth that talks about it, so I really do appreciate you trying to make it seem as if I've done more than I have. The good thing is, people say we do it for the dogs, but what we really do when we're involved with people like Lost Our Home Pet Rescue is do it for the people. Everybody that I've met that has gotten a pet from Lost Our Home Pet Rescue feels better. They are enriched. Pets do that for us. So yeah, we're certainly trying to help out the dogs, but really what this is about is helping out people in the community and giving them best friends, and that's a pretty awesome thing. So thank you, Lost Our Home Pet Rescue, for even partnering up with us. You guys are the real heroes in this thing, and thank you so much. It means the world to me. I appreciate it.
Are we having fun or what? This is amazing. Jen and I are having a great time. There are cats, dogs, everybody running around here. It's a ton of fun. You're going to learn more about these animals and how to adopt them. As you can tell, Jen and I are not good at fostering, but we're very good at adopting. So here's some things. Now, you know that this is an auction, and I miss chanting so much. You remember that. 15 could have been now 2, now 25, now 3, now 35, now 4, now 5. I want to do that, but that's not what we're going to do right now. What we're going to do is go through our 6 premier live auction items, which you have all the way through this Tuesday. That's right. It's already going to be the 8th of December on Tuesday, and you have till 7 p.m. Mountain Time, also known as Arizona time, to keep bidding. But I want to talk through and I want to visit with you. The whole idea of these virtuals, even though we can't be together, is not for me to speak at you, but to speak with you. So as you bid and things turn around and change and other people get it more in, I can actually say it, especially when we get to the next portion where we do our fund to need. But this is a family affair, and I've got a 17-year-old son that's here working with me. His name is Duke, and every time I ask Duke to tell me who's the winning bid, he's going to show me who it is. So let's check in on our first item, which comes from none other, the man that float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, none other than Muhammad Ali. That's right, one of the greatest philanthropists and an Arizona gem. We miss him terribly, but of course his family is still here making an enormous impact with Celebrity Fight Night, which is where these gloves come in. These are autographed and certified with certification Muhammad Ali gloves. The starting bid is $1,500 with currently no bid, but let me tell you something, if you're looking for a holiday gift, this would be the gift for you, because remember, there are so many people that remember our legendary Muhammad Ali. That's right, those gloves will hang it on someone's Christmas tree or a Hanukkah gift. It'd be incredible. So what else is coming up? Let's take a look at our second item. Well, She's actually known as Jill Kimmel. In fact, everyone in the family begins with a J. Her brother is known as Jimmy. Jill, if you're out there watching this, Jan and I miss being in a ballroom with you. I love this woman. She's a phenomenal comedian and, believe me, a celebrity in her own right. But she has a pretty famous brother and she has a couple of ties to getting his tickets. I actually got to go do this with 3 of my friends. So let's talk about this. Now, Jimmy actually is, of course, going through safe social distancing right now and not in the studio. But when we actually do pop out, and we will get through this together, 4 of you are going to go to Los Angeles, where you're going to get to go to the Jimmy Kimmel Studios. I went and did this. You show up pretty early in the day, like 3, 4 o'clock, private entrance in the back. You go in, once you go down the cool hallway with all the previous guests with actually different photographs. No more cell phones after that, because you're going in the green room. That's right. Open bar, kind of little hors d'oeuvres. There's a pool table. And when I was there, some of those people that are on the show come and hang out with us. Then you're ushered into just a small studio. You're going to be amazed. It's actually a tiny studio, so you're like right there with Jimmy. On top of that, you get to have Guillermo, the comedians, all the rest of it. And when I went, some amazing musicians and more. So actually Sam Elliott was there and I felt like he was like right there with me. So now in a normal environment, I would actually run this bid up, and if we got high enough, I'd sell 2. But we're just thrilled that you're here to be a part of this virtual. So there's 2 packages that are the same. So they're items 2 and 3. They're both 4 VIP tickets with the green room passes and the food and the drink and going around with all the guests for both item number 2 and 3. So number 2, the opening bid right now is at $1,000 with Jody Paul Farguson. Judy, I know that you're out in Hawaii right now and you're one of my items that's coming up, so keep bidding away on that, Judy. It's a lot of fun. And on that second package, there currently are no opening bids, so you could actually either swap them both up and take 8 of you or keep bidding. So what comes up next in this next item? Well, we're on to item number 4, and that is from a man that is a local phenom turned, well, superstar beyond belief. That's Dierks Bentley. So before I actually tell you a little bit about this, how about we clue in and check in with a little video that Dierks himself sent in.
Hey y'all, Dierks Bentley here, and I am at my mother-in-law's house, Deanne Black, and with her dog Carly, who is a great dog that came from Lost Our Home Foundation, a great organization that helps these dogs find a home. And as you can imagine with COVID, it's also affected this great organization because a lot of dogs are in need right now. COVID is a lot of dogs are being left with the Lost Our Home Foundation and not being picked up for various reasons. So we need your support, and I'd like to offer up something. There's going to be an auction December 6th. It's going to be the Sit and Stay Brunch. You may have heard of it. And I'd like to talk to anybody who wants to be part of that auction, offer up a 15-20 minute FaceTime call if you want to donate some money, and for that auction item, that'll be one of the auction items available. And we can talk about dogs or country music or how great Arizona is, my favorite state. So check it out and help out dogs like Carly here by supporting Lost Our Home Foundation.
Yeah, that's Dierks Bentley. That's our local boy turned huge. Also, his love story with his wife is seriously one of the most endearing and moving. And actually, they met here in Arizona. That's right. Cassidy is his wife. And Cassidy has some amazing parents that are here. Her mom has been a big supporter of Lost Our Home. So actually, if any of you are out there watching, especially Deanna and Jack Black, that's right, Cassidy's last name is Black, although now it's Dierks. You're out there, and thanks for always connecting us with this amazing connection that we have now with Dierks. And you know what? He is one of the most advocates for adopting dogs and pets out there, as you heard from his own words. So this is a chance for you to actually video chat with him, whether you want to do FaceTime or you want to do Zoom, whatever it is, we'll set it up with you and you get a 15 minutes hanging out with Dierks Bentley. This is incredible. So right now for Dierks, it's an opening bid of $1,500 and there are no bids on this. Now remember, in this show, that's okay. You have all the way through Tuesday, but think about absolutely blowing someone's Christmas gift or Hanukkah gift mind with, hey, guess what? Dierks Bentley's going to be calling you this week. So go ahead and keep bidding on that. Up next, well, I actually mentioned Judy a few minutes ago because she's in Hawaii right now. Now this next package that I'm telling you about is a place that I've been to, not to her personal villa, but actually going to the Four Seasons in Kualoa is unbelievable. Kona at its best, the Kona Coast. This is 7 nights and 8 days in one of their private 3-bedroom top-of-the-line villas. These villas go for $1,000 a night. This is an opportunity, of course, no major holidays, but Judy's given you, she's one of our board members. She's actually given you a whole host of dates to choose from. But let's talk about this, because I've actually been to this resort, including that they have this like almost self-made lagoon. I swam with all these different fish and manta ray. It was incredible, and the beach is awesome. Food, outrageous. Their spa has actually been named #1, their spa by Travel and Leisure magazine. And this is consecutively over 18 years, every year, toppest reward you can get from the AAA 5 Diamond Award. It is that good, and I can attest that myself. Golfers, if you're out there, unreal. So how about this villa? This is actually 3 bedrooms, 2 kings and a queen, but that master with that king is far more than that. Double sinks, freestanding floating tub, you have an outdoor lanai and an outdoor shower with that. Beautiful state-of-the-art furniture, also king, the other queen, each with its own private balcony and so much more. This is by all means probably one of the most amazing things we've ever had. Currently sitting at $5,000 with Gina Page. $5,000, and that is still undervalued. And guess what, Gina? Guess what I'm doing after this show? Bidding on that item. Which brings me to our next item with a gentleman who I know is out there in Pennsylvania right now. Scott, if you and Glenn are actually watching, cheers to you. I miss you both. So sorry to have missed you when you came through town. This is an unbelievable opportunity brought to you by Scott Rothenberger. Here's what it is. It's called The Place, and it is literally the top of the top design studio and actually comes and does individual parties. They've won awards. They've been featured in some of the most magnificent magazines in home decor and so much more. Now, why would you ask that a party for 20 to 24 of you, that Scott's actually going to fly out his team all the way to Arizona, have a craft mixologist with him. His cocktails are amazing. Set up the tablescape. Right now, copper's really hot. He had some amazing copper actually displays were going on in his studio, and a whole tree made of feathers. He's incredible. Why? Because he actually has a lost our home pet himself. He and Glenn were out here and were hiking actually on Roosevelt Lake, and guess what they found? A dog without a home. So Rosa Prickly Pear is now in Philadelphia. We love you, Rosa. Right now, the opening bid is $6,500. That's close to a $20,000 package, and there are no opening bids at $6,500. But guess what? Yours truly will be visiting that one as well after that. I'll be checking in more with these live auction items actually in a little bit later. And remember, all the way through Tuesday at 7 o'clock on our Mountain Time, otherwise known as Arizona time, to keep bidding. But right now, let's meet some pets with Jan.
Yeah, absolutely. The pets are coming in right now, and I wanted to tell you, not only is it our little pajama party, but it's also calendar season. And guess what you're going to get just for being part of our day today? You're going to get the 2021 Lost Our Home calendar, and it's loaded with great pictures of pets that have found homes and pets that are looking for homes. 7,500 adoptions since 2008, 79,000 days of temporary care program for your pets, and 13,000 pets fed through the Lost Our Home Pet Food Bank. That is amazing. Well, but the story is the pets that are looking for a home. So come on up here. First of all, oh my goodness, look at this. This is Honeycomb.
Honeybee.
Honeybee, look at everybody has fallen in love with, hi, Honeybee. Honeybee was actually found on a reservation, and this Honeybee, this is gonna make me cry right now, because guess what? You were 24 hours away from being euthanized. Can you believe that? This dog is the most joyful. Okay, make that 28 pets for Jan, okay? You guys have got to find a home for this little guy, otherwise I'm going to grab him. So cute. So that's Honeybee, and this is Coco Chanel. Yes, oh, look at this little guy right here. Hello, Coco. Beautiful. So Coco is looking for a forever home too, right? Mm-hmm. My goodness, is it a little dachshund? Chihuahua? It's a Chihuahua. Oh my goodness, and so sweet and so gentle. So this is why we're here, everyone. We want to find homes for these beautiful, beautiful animals, and you can do that today. So while you're looking and thinking about maybe grabbing some of these animals, it's time for our next raffle. And listen to this, Jennifer, oh my goodness. Jennifer's Famous Cookies, for those of you who have attended our Sit Stay Brunch event in the past, you know that everybody goes right for these cookies, and people bid on them to get their hands on a batch. So this year's raffle winner gets 50 cookies, 25 milk and 25 dark chocolate covered cookies to enjoy. And the winner is Nancy Heidel. I hope I said that right, Nancy. Congratulations. These cookies are absolutely amazing. And thank you for joining us today, and thank you for winning. It's really awesome. So now with these gifts, you're going to be able to maybe give some great gifts to your pets this holiday. But there's somebody that I want you to meet right now, Churchill. And Churchill is looking for some, well, he's looking for some goodies for himself. Take a look at this. How cute is that, right? He is a long timer at Lost Our Home, and we want to make sure that he finds a forever home. LostOurHome.org is the place to go for all kinds of beautiful, beautiful animals. And by the way, Churchill went viral yesterday. Can you believe that? Yes, thanks to people like you. There's a gentleman that I want you to meet right now. His name is Mark. He's a veteran. And Mark, thank you for your service. We appreciate you so much. As if 2020 wasn't hard enough for you and everyone else. Mark had some serious health issues, and he had to go to the VA hospital. And he's got Wilbur and Hurley, his 2 dogs, and he was so stressed about making sure that they were cared for. Well, Lost Our Home came to the rescue. Here's Mark's story.
Mark and his 2 dogs, Wilbur and Hurley, they were a family. That's who he had. These 2 really cute little dogs that just absolutely adore this man. Unfortunately, with his illness, Mark needed to go into a center to get his health back on track, and that meant that he couldn't take his dogs with him.
I was really sick, and I got admitted to the hospital, and I left my dogs at my daughter's house, but her landlord found out and said that she needed to get rid of them or she'd be evicted. And so Lost Our Home helped me take care of the dogs until I got out of recovery.
Luckily, he heard about Lost Our Home and our 90-day temporary care program. With our 90-day temporary care program, we can take pets in, give that pet a safe place to stay while their families get back on track with their lives and recover from whatever crisis they're going through.
I felt sad and lost, and a part of me was missing, but I knew that I needed to take care of myself, and the only way to do that was to have the dogs taken care of.
We brought his pets in, we reassured him everything would be okay, they would be well taken care of. We would even get them into foster homes if one was available.
I was scared, and they were scared, and I came to visit them as often as I could, which was about 2 or 3 times a month, and that was pretty easy. All I had to do was call and say, hey, I'm gonna show up on Saturday, and they said okay, and I showed up, and I took the dogs to the park and Tempe Town Lake,
and you could really see it was improving Mark's mood. He was getting healthier faster because he had this stress taken off of his back. He wasn't depressed anymore. He had something to look forward to. He knew that at the end of this, he was going to have his dogs back.
It saved my life, actually, because I didn't have to worry about them. I focused on my own health, and I actually got out of there sooner.
And you could tell that this was the start to a new life.
I was very excited to take them home, and they were very excited to see me and get my car and go to our new home.
So thanks to our 90-day temporary care program and our wonderful fosters who were able to take in Wilbur and Hurley, Mark not only got the treatment that he needed and so deserved, he was able to get his life back on track.
I just want to thank Lost Our Home for saving my life, pretty much, maybe indirectly, but they did save my life, and they helped my dogs. And you know, they're 10 years old, but they probably have another 10 years to go. And I would hate to see what would happen if if I wasn't here.
That's an amazing story. And Mark, if you're out there with your pets, thank you. That's our temporary care program. Look at this. I got a rambunctious kitty that's trying to jump all over the place. So I'm going to put this little kitty cat down for a second. That's right. We're letting them run all over. There's cats, there's dogs. It's amazing. Remember, all of the pets that you see here are up for adoption. So if you're interested in doing that, you want to go to lostourhome.org. I am going to tell you something about that beautiful dog you saw up here earlier, though. Our very own team that's here and the producer of this show, he put in an adoption for that dog, so we'll see what happens. That's what happens when you're around Lost or Pet. Now, you saw Jody and I in an interview earlier, and we are safe social distance right now and staying apart, but it's time to actually do a little live interview so we can better understand the actual strain that Lost Our Home is featuring right now financially as they continue to pivot through COVID and answer so many pets like you're seeing here. So please welcome our executive director, founder, and my friend, Jody Polanski. So as we interview with you, Jody, what I want to know most importantly for people to understand, you actually already went through the 2008 housing market crashes when you first noticed this. What are you seeing that's similar in what's happening in the COVID situation that's affecting your organization financially, as well as what is going on in the pet world?
Well, there's a lot of similarities because in 2008, that's when the foreclosure crisis caused this economic crisis for most of our country, and people were losing their homes. And what's happening now with the pandemic is that there's an economic crisis that's also happening, and people will be losing their homes. They are losing their homes. But in addition to a loss of a home right now, we also have people who are escaping domestic violence. There's a lot more domestic violence in record numbers. There's also a lot more hospitalizations, as we all know, in record numbers. And these are all situations that Lost Our Home helps the pets, so the pet parents can get back on their feet again. So we are seeing applications also in record numbers. Right now, 3 times the number of applications are coming in than there has been, even just from right before the pandemic in January and February.
Wow, that's amazing. And one thing about Lost Our Home, it is about pets and people. It's about both. And Jody has always been such an advocate for helping both of them. So please understand that while your donations have always mattered to us, they matter now more than ever. And Jody's going to tell you a little bit more about that. I want to point out that we're sitting here in a partner site at Sojourner Center, which is a domestic violence shelter. And they've actually partnered up. They actually pay for them to be here. But it's about the idea of having a pet companion center here as well. And that's why we're filming from here, because it's about all the people that we're involved with. So one of the things I want to ask you too, Jody, is actually about when we talk about the cost, we're talking about donations, we're talking about corporate and events like this. Can you tell our audience a little bit about what some of the strains have been with not receiving that money? What have you lost from the essence of funding?
Well, funding has gone down quite a bit. As we know, when people are having a financially hard time, then the last thing that they can do, not by choice, but they have no choice, is to not donate. The same thing right now, a lot of companies are struggling too, so corporate donations are going down. And so it's been very difficult in the organization. We're about a 20% decrease in donations. This year, because of the pandemic, keep in mind, 3 times the number of applications coming in for people needing help. And so this event right here is really important to us. Typically, in a regular year, we will get about 25% of our entire operating income in this event, which gets us set up for the next year. And this being virtual has mean a lot of anxiety over it, because the success of this event will help dictate how many pets we can rescue in 2021, and the need is just getting greater and greater. So it's really imperative now more than ever that we are getting donations, whether monthly or one time, just because we've got to get the support we need to support our community and the pets and pet parents that need us.
It's true. So if you're watching this now, and remember, even if you're watching this after, because it is recorded for you to continue through the next several days, you can keep giving all the way through this Tuesday. It's Sunday morning now, here as we're at the 6th of December, but on Tuesday the 8th, all the way through 7 p.m., you can continue to give to help Jody, the mission, and so many of these pets. As she said, it's the money that comes in that determines how many animals she can help. Now, one of the other things that we wanted to kind of mention are things that programs you're going to hear a little bit more in my ask. But Jody, you're more than just adopting pets. Tell a little bit people about some of the food you actually supply and what are other ways that you do, because you're doing more with less.
We are doing more with less. And so because we are helping people and pets in crisis, we're looking to try to help people in the different ways they need help. So sometimes it is because they need to turn their pet in and find a new forever home for their pet because they can no longer keep their pet. But a lot of people just need a temporary respite for their pet. And so we'll care for their pet for up to usually 90 days. Right now it's a little bit longer because of COVID. And that way, if they are in a hospital or their domestic violence shelter, they could be in a homeless shelter, they could be staying with their friend because they lost their home to eviction and haven't been able to find another pet-friendly rental yet. We will care for the pet for them while they are in transition and trying to get back on their feet again, and then they can get reunited with their pet again. There isn't a reason to lose their pet if they just need a couple months to get their lives back together again. And of course, our food bank is also really important because as people are unemployed and losing income, pet food is expensive, and we know that. And so sometimes it's just a matter of giving pet food to a family, and they can keep their pet. And we have seen, families, especially seniors, foregoing things like food for themselves and medication to be able to feed their pet,
animals.
and we'll help them.
Yeah, so those of you that are out there, please understand too, during this pandemic, pets are a wonderful way of alleviating stress, and Jody and her entire board and crew are so good at actually answering the people's needs as well. And that's what this next video is about. While I actually want you to watch this, I want to remind you that, as Jody said, that as we continue in an economic crisis as well as a pandemic, and on top of that, some people will actually maybe do what this next video is about. Well, we learned about some dogs in some deplorable conditions due to hoarding.
It was early spring when we got a call from one of our rescue partners. They had been contacted by a group of neighbors in South Phoenix. They had noticed that there was a house with probably close to 24 dogs living there, and they weren't sure if they were being taken care of or what the situation was. They were throwing food over the fence, trying to get these dogs fed, but it was way beyond their control and they really needed help. When we arrived, the yard was worse than we had expected. It was overgrown with weeds everywhere. Dogs were digging holes to get away from the hot sun. They were hiding under debris, whatever shade they could find or create. These dogs were hiding and they were terrified. The owner did allow us that first visit to take 5 dogs, and we prioritized taking puppies and moms with us to give them the best chance at finding a normal life.
There are a lot of studies coming out now that give us a lot of information about the importance of what mama dog's hormones in her body look like leading up to giving birth. That a lot of those hormones that mom is experiencing are transferred into those babies, and it can change their chemical makeup and the way that their brains develop. So if they all had been born just a few days before we got to them, their entire lives would have been set up more poorly than they were because we were able to get to them, like you said, in the nick of time. And the timing in which she was able to give birth after having a couple days to really get some of those stress hormones out of her system and get used to a routine like we've been talking about is just incredible, and is probably the best thing that we could have done for those puppies.
She delivered all of them herself, cleaned them up, and of course they were whining to be fed as she's delivering, and each other one after that, and it's just like, babies, calm down. Do you not see what oh yeah, you can't see. Your eyes are closed, and your babies. I mean, the shelter had really just assured us, just gave us a picture of what it would look like and that she'd be fine and what to look for and when to call. And so based on that, we're like, okay, and she did her thing without a problem.
Once we had the dogs in our care and we were able to medically clear them, the next step was getting them socialized and finding foster homes. Thankfully, we have a really great network of supportive fosters who are willing to take on the challenge and bring these dogs into their home to teach them what love is like and teach them what living in a home environment and being safe and happy and healthy is all about. Even for some of these dogs, like Tulip, she was ready, but she was still very nervous and still very unsure if she wanted that human interaction, if she wanted to go home with somebody.
Did not want to be touched or really approached. She stares at you all the time, but didn't really want you to make eye contact with her. So just observing and keeping those things in mind, and a lot of discussion with the foster parent made me feel real comfortable, and I thought this is going to work. We did a meet and greet with Fender, myself, and Tulip, and things went very well, and I took Tulip home as a foster, and we let that ride out, and within a week I was pretty confident that things were going to work out and she was a fit. So at the end of 2 weeks we finalized the adoption.
Still a little awkward with petting and didn't really understand what petting meant or what it even was, but definitely started to come into her own and understand what it meant to be a dog after a while.
It's one of the things that has changed dramatically. She's very curious about everything now. But she would just kind of stick to herself. But she was open to interaction with my other dog, Fender, and with myself.
She got a little bit more confident and was willing to like offer attention to someone, which seems like a tiny thing, but for Tulip was huge because she was always avoiding attention from day one.
It's great. She's a source of pleasure. She still requires a little extra, some little different methods to help her out, but it's changing dramatically, and I can see that no one will know that she came from some hard circumstances down the road. So it's very gratifying.
So amazing, all of these different stories of pets that actually go from some pretty deplorable and desperate situations through lost or home into forever homes. So remember, as you're looking at the pets, and Jan and I have a really fun segment coming up next, but remember, always go to lostourhome.org, even in the future, wherever you're thinking of your needs to actually pick up another animal. Remember, adopt, don't shop. So here's another thing I want to talk to you about. It's again what Jody said. This brunch that normally takes place with a whole host of us out at the Grand, and it's a fun event, so you want to mark it for next year. We actually have a chance to actually get together and raise almost 25% of the operating cost annually to continue giving these homes to our pets. So I want to tell you a little bit about not only the people that have given money, but as you give money, I can interact with you and tell you what your money's doing. First and foremost is someone that we know very well around here, and that's Bruce Anderson. Bruce, you're out there right now, and you started us out with $50,000. That's right. So for those of you at home, I have a little bit of a challenge. If you can raise another 50, it turns into 100. These are matching dollars. So every dollar you give in the next 9 minutes are actually going to double. So let's talk a little bit about this as you're actually on. And again, if you've watched us at a watch party, you're at brunch, hanging out in bed, just make sure that you're on LOH2020brunch.givesmart.com. Again, LOH2020brunch.givesmart.com. You're going to see buttons underneath me that say 5,000, 2,500, 1,000, 500, 250, and 100. Now also remember there's an other button, and that's what Bruce did, other as in $50,000. So let's talk a little bit about what your money can do, not only with the programs that have been in place since Lost Our Home started, but also the pivots and the necessities that have come up due to the pandemic. First and foremost, let's talk about volunteers. Now, due to safe social distancing and the ability to actually have people in and not have people in, it's come down to by appointment only. Now, that means as people come in to adopt by appointment that a lot of our volunteers can't be there in the actual space. So what does that mean to Lost Our Home? Well, it is actually a statistic that was released in 2019 that an hour of volunteer work comes to $25.43. That's right. That is what a volunteer hour saves a nonprofit by having someone volunteer their time. 20,000 hours are normally what takes place in a year of Lost Our Home from our incredible volunteers, many of whom are watching this right now, and I want you to know you are the backbone of this organization. That equates to a cost of $400,000. $400,000 that is not being donated right now due to the CDC guidelines and our ability to keep everyone safe, which is our #1 priority. But we do still need to answer the call of the actual unbelievable numbers that are coming through on dogs and cats as people continue to go through financial, physical, emotional, and mental crisis. So, as you know that now at 5,000, want to point that out. That's a button, but Lynn Shepard just came in at 2,000. But I also want to point out that 5,000 came from John and Anita George. I know you guys so well. John and Anita, I miss seeing you. $5,000. They're some of our most generous donors. They normally do this in match money, which is kind of hard to do in the virtual space. So right now, they're going to set the bar high. That's right. So also Lynn Shepard in at $2,000. That brings me to $2,500. Now, you've seen a video earlier about our veteran Mark and it's something that's called the Temporary Care Program. This is something that I personally have admired about Jody and her crew in Lost Our Home more than anything. Because I have come up against, as all of us now have, times in our lives where you think, wow, I don't want to lose my pet, but maybe I'm going to be incapacitated due to financial, emotional, or physical actual needs that means someone needs to take care of my pet for just a little while. Normally this program is 90 days, and I know that it really doesn't seem like a lot when I tell you that it's $10 for us to take care of one of these pets while their actual physical owner is getting better. That's $900. But the thing is this, during COVID, It's more like 120 days, which is about $1,200 per pet that we're actually taking care of. We don't want these animals to lose their home, especially not in a pandemic. That's because of you. And right now, right here at $2,500, well, again, we had 5,000 at John and Anita George, but 1,000, there's quite a few of you coming in, so we'll go on to that. But remember, click those buttons, share this link beyond this show, and be a part of the magic that helps us to continue those pets that are going through Lost Our Home into their forever home. So for $1,000 right now, well, that's actually part of the program that I want to talk about fostering. So when we foster our pets, which I personally saw an article from, think of this, you're in social media and someone that wasn't even a part of this sends me that there's an article about a Phoenix shelter that needs help. So I went and answered it. I went and got and fostered Fozzie Bear, who's probably at home watching this right now. He's that smart. So what happens with fostering, and I understood this too, is there's an expense that comes with that. Number one, there's someone that has a caseload that has to manage that. We report in, when I actually took Fozzie home, I had to come back the next day, safe social distance in a separate entrance so I could get the medical care and shots he needed. And of course, they provide the food, the bowls, the leashes, and all the things so the foster parents, just like you saw Nicole earlier with her kitties, having a hand feed them. That's all covered by you. $1,000, Anita Noneman is in actually right now, and Melissa Gurley just gave at $1,000 each. Both of you, I know you're out there watching this. Thank you so much for all of that you're doing here today. And remember, keep giving, keep donating, and you'll see at the end of this, you can become a monthly donor as well. $25 a month. That's probably less than most people spend on their coffees, actually coming back to help us to continue our pets. Remember, this is a no-kill shelter, but we can only take as many pets as places that we have for and the finance and resources that we have to do it. So another part is about domestic violence. I know that on my work, which has been on the front lines of so many different nonprofits, it's a very common thing that due to financial and actual physical and mental strain, a lot of domestic violence cases are going up as people lose their job, they're sheltered in place, and they're behind closed doors. In fact, I'm sitting here at the Sojourner Center now. Domestic violence and those pets, it's imperative that people feel safe. Those animals actually often are not only abused themselves, but witness. And a large amount of women, particularly in those domestic violence situations, don't leave out of fear of what will happen to their pet. Well, as you saw in our video, we have a behavioral list. That's right, $500 would actually help with our behavioral list to actually be able to help. What is the dog going through? What did they see? Where are they? Remember, it's pets and people, healing people and their pets. $500 right here, right now is Stacy Katz. Stacy, thank you so much for that $500 donation. And those of you at home, keep those donations coming in. Now, as we get to $250, remember when we talked about that food shelter, whole area in there? And there's an amazing, and this is something else. As the pandemic lifts and we can all gather again, do take and consider going down and asking for a tour or getting a look at it. Or again, adopt, don't shop. But it's an amazing, amazing shelter. These beautiful bricks that are putting up on the wall that you can also be a part of. Anything you want to know, go to lostourhome.org and learn more. But actually getting food into the shelter as well. Because a lot of people, and particularly in my line of work, I see elderly people that their pet is the companion, their one companion in their life. They're going to forego taking their actual medication to feed their pet, which for my clients in the hospitals is very costly as they often have to return into medical care that was not necessary if they've been able to simply just take their medications due to finances. So actually having those is amazing. So $250, that would be amazing for you right now. How about $100? I have a lot of people to thank at this one. And just so you know right here, $500 just came from my girl, Courtney Bennett. I love you. Courtney is with Tito's Handmade Vodka. That's vodka for dog people and dog lovers. Courtney, you're out there. I love you. And of course, say hi to all the girls. She's a Boston Terrier woman. And believe me, those dogs are all over the place. Peanut, I love you. So keep going with that. At $250, Gail Randolph just jumped in there. Gail, thank you so much. And of course, let's get through these $100 donors. We have Wendy Hines is in here. Charlene Fisher, thank you for $100. Jennifer Kunis, that's right, the woman behind the magical cookies. She actually just gave $100. Bonnie Bladston, thank you, Bonnie, for $100. Mary Rowarski, that's actually a good one. That's a hard mouthful, but Mary, thank you so much. Barry Siff is actually in at $100. Kathy Adams, look at this, they're just flying in. Sharon Kloon, thank you at $100. Marvin Grin, look at this, there's tons of people that are giving right now, active on a Sunday right here with us in the virtual space. Jane Page is in. Tammy Atherton, thank you so much for $100. Emily Sestone is in. Judith Toner is in. Also, John Conway has given at $100. Andrea Tyler Evans, I know you, girl. Thank you so much for your generosity. That is Front Doors Media. Andrea, I love you. And a big pet actual advocate as well. Say hi to Tom and the kids. Coming through there as well, we have Linda Cole has jumped in. Kendall Holland is in there. John Conway, thank you so much. And then, how about monthly donors, like $25 a month? We actually have Colleen M. is in there. Paula Hubbard is there. Joe Christensen, thank you for doing that every month for a year. Alan Kilker is in there, and Candace Denkers. The bids keep on coming through, but as you heard Jody, this year they matter more than ever. So if you're joining us here live, that's great, but if you're watching me recorded, even better, because it means you've seen it after and someone shared it with you, and I challenge you to do the same, because you have all the way through this coming Monday, Tuesday, we're giving you another day, the 8th of December at 7 p.m. to keep sharing this, and remember how you share it, just send a friend the LOH 2020 brunch.givesmart.com and they can register for free, watch this show, and continue to give. And now I want to talk a little bit more. You met Mark, our veteran. Let's now go to another story of a woman that's going to very bravely tell you her story and how lost her home and the temporary care program helped Cindy on her journey to sobriety.
In our 90-day temporary care program, we serve a lot of clients who are facing a lot of different types of crisis, whether it be homelessness or illness or domestic violence. Especially now with COVID, we are seeing an increase of folks needing hospitalization or facing eviction or foreclosure. So we do have a lot of folks who are reaching out to us needing all sorts of different things. Cindy came to us and her story is a little bit more unique.
Kind of long story short, I've been a functioning alcoholic for about 6 or 7 years, and I held down a job and I was able to pay my bills, but it kind of just slowly got worse and worse and worse. So in March, I realized I wasn't going to be able to keep paying for the apartment that I was in, and I didn't have enough money saved to move into a new apartment, pay all the deposits, all of that. So I had a couple months before that, so I to kind of figure out what I was going to do. So I just kind of started Googling around and seeing if there are any places that would allow me to keep my cats, and I found the Lost Our Home shelter. So I reached out to you guys, and it was all super fast and quick and wonderful. I think it was about a week between when I reached out to Lindsay, the temporary care coordinator, and when I brought my cats in.
She came in, we reassured her we would be able to help her. Her cats would have a safe place to stay. She could go get the treatment she needed, work through her addiction, and find a new place to live and get her life back on track.
That was super emotional, just knowing that it was obviously a rough time. I was leaving my apartment, not knowing where I was going, so it was really emotional. And then giving my cats up, even for a temporary amount of time, it was super emotional. But everyone was great, everyone was very supportive and wonderful, and they kind of put me at ease a lot more than I would have been in any other circumstance, because they made sure I knew, you're gonna get your cats back, you're gonna be fine, they're gonna be taken care of, you don't need to worry about them. So it gave me a certain level of comfort.
Marley was in perfect health. Beautiful cat, would have no trouble fitting in a foster home and spending her time here with us. Betty, on the other hand, was older. She was very ill. Unfortunately, on that day when Cindy was already going through so much, she had to make the difficult decision to put her beloved cat down. Luckily, we had our traveling vet here with us. We don't have a permanent vet here on staff, but our vet was visiting, and they were able to do a private euthanization for Betty.
It was a very emotional time, kind of getting myself back on track and saving money and getting help with the alcoholism, which I've been sober for almost 7 months now, so that's great. But it was super emotional, but again, I always just kind of had that reassurance, because my cat at that time, losing one of my cats was hard enough, but losing both of them would have been just devastating for me. So just kind of knowing that she was safe was great, and it took a level of concern off of my mind, so that I didn't have to worry about that, and I was able to focus on myself, and so it made that kind of emotional journey that much easier for me.
Getting Marley back was the only thing Cindy cared about. So she worked hard, she saved up her money, she found a new apartment, she battled her demons, she worked through her addiction.
I just really want to let everyone know how the extent that Lost Our Home helped me in every aspect. They, down to helping me with cat carriers. I like borrowed cat carriers because I couldn't afford to buy them and I didn't have them. So just to transport my cats back and forth, they lent me cat carriers. They found me the shelter that I lived in. They found a foster home for my cat, and then when she wasn't in the temporary foster, she was here. They provided safe space for her. The social worker kind of checked up on me constantly, sent me links for housing that I could potentially go to, sent me links for alcohol resources, just kind of, I think that Lost Our Home was the main thing that really facilitated all of the other pieces falling into place for me. So I'm so grateful for that.
Another amazing success story. And Cindy, thank you for sharing that brave journey and congratulations on your sobriety. So those of you that are out there, keep those donations coming in. A lot of monthly donors. And remember, if you're looking for adoption, Jan's got some wild cats that are over here in a tree going crazy. They're up for adoption too. Go to lostourhome.org. Now, remember, if you're watching this too, keep giving all the way through Tuesday, 7 p.m. Mountain. And that's the 8th of December. Go to LOH2020brunch.givesmart.com. Let's now talk about one of the highlights of our event always every year. It's the fashion show. And as we go into this portion, you're going to see about some of the behind the scenes of what it took to actually dress these dogs up. And of course, can you imagine cats being judgmental? I can't imagine. Looking, watching, always judging. You know a cat. That's right. Our cats are the judges. Our dogs are actually parading around. Jan's going to be the voice of the fashion show. But let's start this video now so we can actually take a look at what's gone down.
Okay, Coco, time to get ready for your show. Let's see. Oh, this one's gonna Greta. Okay, here we go. No, Greta. All right, this one. There we go. Good job. Those are lean, right? He can't get any more weight. He's not gonna fit into his outfit. How about this one? Oh, guess not. Hold still. Greta. Okay, come here. No, Greta. Oh, okay, wait. All right. Well, maybe not.
I found the perfect outfit for Coco. You know, they asked me if I wanted to walk down the catwalk, but there weren't enough treats in it for me.
Well, now that they're prepped and ready to go, say hello to Churchill. You've met Churchill. Viral doggy, this handsome husky lab pit mix, stunning specimen of a canine, don't you think? Now, Churchill's almost 5 years old. He's strong, energetic, and playful. One blue eye and one brown eye that's made him quite the celebrity, being featured on movie posters plastered all over social media. Seen here with handler Stephanie in matching black and red jammies.
Okay, so we're a little behind here, but here comes Greta, a beautiful 3-year-old blue-gray pit bull, as you can see, and that cat wasn't too crazy about her, but let's meet Benny.
There's Benny. Benny, 1.5-year-old look at little Benny, little hound mix, basset hound mix with a lot of bounce, joyful, playful, and full of love.
Of course, as Benny's, look at that, nibbling those treats. Whoever gets Benny, I got a feeling, have those treats handy. What do you think about that? And of course, the cat probably not approving of any of this. You know, that's how cats are. But hey, you met her here. How about Honeybee? She's a real sweet honey of a girl. This 2.5-year-old lab border collie mix is a bit shy, but very loving. She loves to be pet and to be received belly rubs. Honeybee loves walks. Not a big fan of getting in and out of cars, but she's wearing a sleek gray sweater with white pom-poms. Isn't she lovely?
And we're so lucky that we had her live here in our studio. And we've saved the cutest for the last. Coco, Chanel, come on, Coco, come on. Come on out of there, 11-year-old chocolate Chihuahua. Coco, there's Coco. She loves to snuggle, obviously, hang out with you while you're at work. She's good with other dogs, shares well with others. Coco enjoys meeting new people and strutting her stuff. Look at how, mwah, mwah, mwah. We love you, Coco Chanel. Currently, we're in the latest in bath time fashion. And a yellow rubber ducky, Letitia.
I know, and can you imagine that cat is not having that rubber ducky, that's for sure. So there you have it, folks, and I think now it's time as we come out of this portion to lostourhome.org, because these are not just videos we're watching, they're actual pets looking for homes. But Jan now is going to tell us about a winner.
Yes, we have our third raffle item for the day. Now this is a smart television. It's a Toshiba. and it's 32-inch. And the winner is Robert O'Malley. All right, Robert, you watch the Cardinals today, and go Cards. So with your brand new TV. So thank you to Julie and to Nancy and to Robert and to everyone who's donated today to Lost Our Home. Your dollars are going to make such a difference in 2021. It's going to be unbelievable.
And for those of you that don't realize, Jan's by some cats over there in a tree. So really quick, we're going to check in on that live auction. Remember, these are great holiday gifts. So we're going to talk about those Muhammad Ali boxing gloves. There's still no bids. Are you kidding me? That's the greatest legend of all time. Authentic boxing gloves. We here in Arizona have access to that from the days of Fight Night. No bid, $1,500. How about our first Jimmy Kimmel? 4 of you still in with my gal, Judy Ferguson, that's out there in Hawaii, in at 1,000, and no one on the other 1,000. Hey, when we all go back in person, those shows are going to be on fire. You're going to want that. Dirks Bentley, $1,500 opening bid. Time with Dirks. Still no bids on that one. And Hawaii just jumped. Uh-oh. Courtney Bennett after my package that I want at $5,500. I'm watching you, girl. I'm watching you. 3-bedroom. I say it's a girl's trip to Hawaii. And of course, Party Place with Scott is an opening bid of $6,500, which does not have any bids yet. But Scott, I think I need a party. So those are the bids. Remember, you have all the way through this Tuesday, the 8th of December, at none other than 7 p.m. Mountain, also known as Arizona time, to keep giving. Become a monthly donor. Actually, keep giving. Share this link. Go to LOH2020brunch.givesmart.com. But that pretty much sums up our hour. That's it. The brunch hour is over. And more importantly, it's Jan and I here right now. We've got kitties. I don't know if you can get to look at Jan. Look at Jan. She says she's a dog lover, but my goodness, she's like the cat whisperer. They will not come anywhere near me. They just go to Jan. For those of you at home, know that we also have, of course, our Meow actual. Well, they're actually known as, well, Meow-mosas. That's right. We've had a lot of different things. So as we close out here now, and Jan and I are actually together, we are going to safe social distance from afar. Right, look at that. Like not even touching. Look at that. Just over there. So cheers to you. Let's go to Jan to say goodbye. My name's Letitia Fry. We're going to be seeing you, right, Jan?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, everyone, so much. Have a great Sunday. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Thank you for helping Lost Our Home. Cheers to you and your family and to your new forever pet. Bye.
Boom.